So yeah, we have a other. That's not even
No, it's not. We don't have
another fantastic guest on the show with us tonight. Our interview for the evening is, as we mentioned, Lisa, also known as
Lisa Charleyboy, also known as Urban Native Girl on Twitter. And also, that's the name of your blog, but that's not your URL. Yes, we do need a microphone here, don't we?
So let's actually talk a little bit about, let's whet your appetite in case you are not familiar with Lisa. So she has this great blog, which is a beautiful blend of pop culture, mainstream culture, and indigenous culture to a certain extent, right? So she blends it together in a really cool, hip, easy to consume kind of way, and educational as heck. So that's really cool, and obviously includes a lot of her own personal experiences into it, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think, well, not I think, I know rather unique based on like the type of blogs that we've seen within the Toronto blogosphere scene, right?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of, it's, again, like we were saying, there's a lot of the beauty, the fashion, and all those wonderful things, but it's the indigenous twist that I think is really what makes it a special blog, because Lisa also tracks all the exciting things that she gets to go from traveling across the country down to the States, and you have done some incredible things because of your blog, haven't you, Lisa Charleyboy?
Here we go. Here we have it. Awesome. So before we get into it, I just want to encourage you, if you haven't checked out her blog, go on it now. Check it out, and if you have any questions to ask while we're doing the interview, please feel free to. So exactly, lisacharleyboy.com.
The URL will be out on your computer. So
exactly, and again, tweet in any questions if you want to Skype in Nat and Marie show. Yes, Lisa. So yeah, you want to get into some of the cool things she's done? Because there's some really cool stuff that we want to talk about. Yeah.
So where have you gone? We heard that you went to LA to go film an ad with Dove, and you're going to Harvard, and you're talking at Harvard. So, like, you're doing so much stuff. So let's start with Dove. Tell me about Dove.
Dove is actually here in Toronto. And I had the opportunity to shoot the commercial.
Yeah.
The hair commercial here in Toronto. And I was invited by a PR company, Ogilvy PR. They wanted a bunch of social media real girls, right? To do the hair commercial. So I got invited with 10 other girls to shoot in a huge film space, and it was fantastic and a great experience. But there was a bunch of people from LA, which is probably why you thought it was.
Oh, that's probably
LA.
why.
So there was AJ Jones, who did Dream Girls. And he's worked with Madonna. And then there's Mark Townsend, who's like a
hairstylist.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's got a good blog too.
Yes, he does. So is this related to, I guess, the Real Girls, Real Women campaign that Dove kind of became known for?
It kind of transcends, like, through all their advertising, whether it be print or commercial. Like, their Real Women is really popular, and it helps resonate with a lot of women.
Awesome.
Nice. And you're also working, do you also work as an actress still, or?
Well, I do have a full-time job, so it sort of gets in the way of auditioning just a little bit. So I have put that on the back burner for now, but it is not entirely shelved.
Fair enough.
And we'll just say that for now.
So it's easier to maintain blogging with a full-time job, I'm assuming.
Yes. Because I can do that in the evening, in the mornings, and on my lunch break.
Very good.
And on your lunch.
And it's not as like impeding on my daily schedule like auditioning is and acting classes.
Cool. So in your own words, can you tell us a bit about, where did this blog concept come from? Because like we said, it is pretty cool, it's very unique, and it's very you. So yeah, how did it start?
Well, it started because I was a student, and I didn't have time to pitch to magazines. So basically I wanted to keep writing and writing daily, and I like to write about lots of different things. I love beauty, have a fashion background, love film, but also do a lot of work with Native culture and Indigenous culture. So I wanted to just blend everything, and I didn't even know if that would make sense.
Yeah.
So I just called it Urban Native Girl Stuff, because I just thought, well, I'm just going to put it all in there, and if people read it, then they do.
Yeah.
If they don't want to read it, that's okay, because I'm writing, and that's the most important thing than everything. And it's been 4 years now, and I've gained a readership. People like it. That's great. Keep reading.
How many people are coming to your blog now? Like how...
It depends on the consistency of posting. As you know, sometimes when I get in a really heavy travel schedule, I'm not able to blog as frequently as I would like, just going in different time zones and living in airports and such. But lately, I've started to blog daily, and so it's about 150 uniques.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Yeah. Not sure where that sits on the register. I don't pay attention that much, but
that's good.
No, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good. 4 years. That's really great that you've been able to keep consistent and on it for that long. What keeps you motivated?
The sort of comments that I get from young women, young Native women that say that they idolize me or they really look up to me and they really respect me and they see me as a role model because they're like, wow, there's this Native girl and she's going to Italy and she's in the hair commercial and she gets to do all these really cool things, and knowing that there's other young Native women that are living maybe in remote communities that see me through my blog and know that that's possible for them is what motivates me and keeps me.
So is that like, you're saying like whenever the women are looking at you and you're inspiring them because of the work that you're doing, is that like a rare thing whenever you're growing up Native within Canada? Is there not a lot of like positive role models for you to look up to? Like how does, I don't really know, because I'm from PEI, so we're disconnected anyway from the rest of the world.
There's not a lot, there weren't a lot of representations in mainstream media when I was growing up. It's increasing now, but it's still quite rare. So it's a unique place to be, and it's really great to gain more exposure for other people that are also in mainstream media. So I use that in my blog to say, like, I'll talk about Michelle Thrush, who was on the Strombo show last night, and just like to show other examples of women and men like myself.
That's fantastic.
That's really cool. So your blog has led you to other really fascinating opportunities like Harvard, speaking at Harvard. So can you tell us a bit more about that? Because when I saw that in like the speaking notes that you kind of sent over, I was just like, holy crap, really? That's so cool.
It was amazing. So it was the fall of 2010. Okay. And I was invited by the All Ivy Native Council, which is Native students that go to all the Ivy Leagues, and they get together every year and they invite speakers to come talk to them. Awesome. And so they invited me to come to Harvard to talk to the students and talk about my blog. So it was a really unique and amazing experience. And like I get to say like I spoke at Harvard, which is pretty awesome. Because I sound really smart, right? Harvard, and yet my blog is often about like really pop culture and like fun poppy things. So,
and it's the cool placements of you within that whole realm of things. You know, like we're always like it's interesting because I mean India, and we always make a point on the show to try and look at global trending topics because here you can have like the North American bubble, which can sometimes just be like completely filtered with a lot of content coming in from the States. So you don't necessarily see what's coming in from other cultures, especially like, well, I mean, let's go like indigenous culture. You don't hear a lot of it. And when you do, it's usually bad news. So I think that's kind of why I gravitate to your blog, because there is like those snippets that come in about, you know, really motivational people within communities, important things that are going on within Canada, some cool fashion accessories, and there's a different flavor. What's your favorite thing to blog about? Is there like one topic, fashion, beauty, music?
I would say, actually, there's two things. And the first is fashion, just because I come from a fashion background, having worked in the fashion industry and had a fashion education. So fashion is just like a natural, obvious thing for me. The other is like writing about personal topics. So sometimes I get really inspired where I'm just thinking about something and I know that other people are going through the same thing that I am. So I will sometimes be super personal on my blog. And that's my favorite thing to do, is to write about super personal things.
Really?
Yeah.
So is there stuff that's off topic, like off the books whenever you're doing the personal conversations? Is there anything you will not talk about on your blog?
I talk about dating, but I don't really get into the specifics of it. So I'm kind of vague about specific things. Yeah. But I will talk about it in concepts and experiences.
Fair enough.
Okay. That's pretty good.
What else? Should we go?
Okay, this is a great question, actually. Okay. Is the persona of urban Native girl different than Lisa Charleyboy?
I would say that urban Native girl and Lisa Charleyboy are definitely the same person, but I do tend to spend a lot of time alone in front of my laptop, which is obvious because like I have to blog all the time and research and write, and so but I don't think that's necessarily reflected in the blog because like, you know, I don't want to take pictures of myself. Hey, look, I'm on the laptop again, hanging out in my room, drinking coffee and writing. So I think that's the only thing that's not really reflected.
Fair enough. So I mean, you know, we all gotta have a little bit more glamorous.
Awesome. So hopefully you guys have been joining in on the conversation. Any questions that you'd like to ask, again, tweet us at Nat and Marie. But let's turn it to Tanya at this point and see how things are going.
Hey, Lisa. Hello. So we do have some questions from the Twitter sphere. Darcy R. wants to know, where do you get your blog ideas?
It comes from everyday life and also spending a lot of time on the internet. So coming across things on Tumblr, seeing what sort of fashion trends are happening, reading the newspaper and seeing like, events that are happening, politics. It comes from everywhere. So just everyday life and just writing it down or thinking about it or storing it for later. I do get people asking me questions and things via email or via Facebook messages. And so sometimes I'll incorporate those kind of questions into future posts.
Nice.
Very cool.
Very nice. And then Pablo Wapsi wants to know, it's kind of an interesting question, have you ever been the inspiration for a graphic novel character?
Oh.
Before.
Well, that might have been a tad self-serving because it's the Wapsi Square, which he has inspired. I've inspired his comic. So
no way! Serious?
Oh, talk about that.
Yeah.
When I cut my hair, he had his character, one of his characters, which is Native American. She had the same hair as me, and then because I'm from BC, she had like this BC coastal pattern in the background.
Yeah.
I'll have to blog about it soon because I haven't blogged about it yet.
Got you. Come on.
Yeah, oh my god, that's so awesome.
And then when I had the picture of my fur hat, which is like my current Twitter handle,
Yep.
as soon as he saw that, then he made the character also have a fur hat in her scene.
That's
so
awesome.
funny. What's it called?
Wapsi Square. WAPSI Square.
Okay,
Wapsi
I'll
Square.
tweet it out for him. But that's funny. That's awesome. So the answer to that
very
question
cool.
is yes, I guess.
Yes.
Yes. And then this one from bohunk.ca.
Yeah,
if he had read your most latest post about I'm not your Pocahontas or something, he would know. But the question is, single? Question mark?
Question mark?
Well, like I said, I like to talk about things in very abstract concepts. And I do write about dating, and I have a post talking about the dating woes of a half-breed girl, which is up there fairly recently, and it's just talking about dating as a Native person and dating Native people versus non-Native people and that whole thing. So I'm not going to totally answer that, but if you read my blog very carefully, you might find out.
Oh.
There you
go. You know what, Bohunk? I know you have a webcam. You could have just Skyped in. And you could have done it shirtless. That's fine. Like, we know you don't like to wear your top. That's cool.
Never have the shirt on.
We don't want to make you feel uncomfortable or anything. Just keep the focus above the belt.
That's really funny.
I
I have a question for you.
Go for it.
So maybe this is like a really obvious one, and maybe you talk about it all the time in your blog. What is your Indigenous background specifically?
Okay. My father is Chilcotin, and he was actually chief.
Get out.
Yeah,
Good for you.
He's really young. So he's Chilcotin, which means he's from like the interior of British Columbia, which is like the middle of BC.
Okay.
And my mom is actually half Mexican.
What?
And quarter Dutch Cherokee mix. So I'm a big North American blend. Yeah.
Wow.
How do they meet?
My mother was actually a missionary.
Oh, get out.
So it's like a story from like the 19th century, but it actually happened
Like in the modern day?
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom was a missionary, so she came to like talk about God.
No kidding.
And then they found love.
Then they found love.
Oh my gosh, with the chief. Well, there you have it. That's awesome.
Romantic.
Oh my gosh. So do you still keep in touch with, I guess, your Indigenous roots quite a bit, or how does that work? Because, you know, being obviously like, so coming from two immigrant backgrounds,
Yeah.
my parents bring in a lot of their own cultures into my upbringing, and I still have a lot of like Korean and Greek things that I do. Do you find that you do a lot of, I guess, indigenous traditions or special occasions or that kind of thing?
I have been like really into it a lot more recently. Like I was actually raised in the suburbs, so I wasn't raised with my traditional culture. So it's actually been in Toronto where I've started to get in touch with my Indigenous roots and Native culture. And there's a very strong Native community, and especially arts community in Toronto.
Awesome.
So I've made a lot of friends here. And then with all the traveling that I do all across North America, pretty much wherever I go, there's Native people there, and I hang out with them and we talk and we do things. So
That's cool.
So cool.
so that's how I stay in touch.
Very cool.
Final call for questions.
Pop quiz. When was the first post on your blog?
Ooh.
Whoa, pop quiz.
December 27th, 2007.
Wow.
Correct?
Close, but you're right. You're about a week off.
Oh.
21st.
Oh.
That's awesome. So you just passed your, was it 5-year anniversary, 4-year anniversary?
4.
That's awesome.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That was very exciting.
Before we say our goodbyes, why don't do you have
Anything you'd like to add? So is there anything that you're working on or something coming up that you'd like to share with everyone?
Well, I do have a project that's coming up, but it's a bit under wraps, and it will be revealed throughout the blog. Sorry to be so vague once again, but it will
go
be
to the
revealed
blog
through the blog over the next month, I would say.
Does it involve fashion? Does it involve travel?
It does, of course. Of course, fashion, of course, travel.
Okay,
and baby cameras.
Maybe cameras?
Baby cameras.
Do you
that's
get
exciting.
a camera? Do you get a phone? Do you get a camera? Do you get a camera? You get a camera, she gets a camera.
I'll be
Done.
Like this.
Awesome. So be sure to check it out. Why don't you let everyone know where they can find you on the www?
Lisa Charleyboy.
There you go. Excellent. And on Twitter?
Urban Native Girl.
Excellent. So let's give her a round of applause because
Thank you so much for joining us. Absolute pleasure.